Hey guys, it's Nick. Obviously, I don't know how to do these things, so bear with me. But I did want to come on and say before this episode started that we're not professionals. We're two goofballs just talking about life, trying to figure out the theology and the reasoning behind the world. Don't take anything we say as concrete or anything as derogatory. It is purely just observation and our perspective. But there's a disclaimer in the description. But if you like, subscribe, follow, hit all the buttons down below, leave a comment. If you want to share your own story, we have an email for you. It's earthtonick@outlook.com. That's earthtonick@outlook.com. Hey, thank you for listening. Thank you for taking the time. I appreciate it. All right.
Oh, gotcha.
All right. Where do we want to start? Do we want to start with your business or do we want to start with trying to figure out everything after the military?
I think let's start after the military and build up to the business.
Dude, I do have to ask because I know they were shafting you on the way out and you were still trying to get therapy for the or the motorcycle crash. Excuse me.
Yeah.
What was it like? Like, what were they doing to you once I left?
So essentially, when you left, they put all the responsibility of the mailroom on me. But instead of helping me manage their responsibility, they beat around the bush, preventing me from getting the resources I needed to complete my job. And when I didn't complete my job, they made it seem like I was a dirtbag.
Mhm.
And that went on for about a couple months. And then any, you know, they put the broken people on the shitty details.
Yeah.
They did that for weeks at a time and still complain about me not being able to do my job. So it got to the point I actually went to Sergeant Major. You know what he did?
Tell
Laughed in
me.
my face.
Yeah.
Like he took it serious, but he laughed in my face at the same time.
Was it the same one as when I left?
Are you talking about
We don't
yeah,
have
it
to say
was
his
the same
name
one.
if you want. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, same one.
That's the same one that yelled at. Well, he called me in. Did I tell you this? Where this is why you got added? Because he called me in, and I was telling him that every day I was going and getting the Dodge Ram or the Vic that they had, and then they stopped paying for them. They stopped paying the contract for those vehicles, and so I was no longer allowed to pick up every day. So he called me in and he starts chewing me out. And I was like, listen, I cannot drive a POV with federal um, mail. It's not allowed. You're not supposed to do it. So I can't do that. I'm only allowed to travel in a Humvee or the TAC Vs that you have. And he
Yeah.
chewed my ass left, right, center. And I was like, sir, well, I didn't say sir. I was like, Sergeant Major, there's only one solution to this. Either get me a Vic or get me a TAC. It's like it's that simple because I
Yeah.
have no control over the payment process.
So similar situation after you left. Uh, Initially, I made a complaint the first hour about not being able to get mail, right? He said, I'll talk to Sergeant Major. A week later, their solution was to buy another Humvee. I'm like, I don't have another guy in the mailroom with me. I don't see how that's going to help the situation. So the messed up part is when they went to JRTC,
Oh no.
they had the All American Express. So they had
Yeah.
Vicks going from Louisiana back to North Carolina and stuff, right?
We're talking about like the Sprinter vans and the Ford front edge, right?
They had a pickup truck too. They had one of the Rams.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's Sergeant Major's
So
Vic.
yeah, so the crazy part is they were letting S1 use it for a couple weeks. And then when I finally asked if I can use it to get mail, ironically, they said Brigade completely restricted them from having it.
Yep. That's what happened with the tack fix I was telling you about. I went in there and it was unbeknownst to anyone. The sergeant major had just like hand jammed a letter to the staff or the staff duty to not allow it anymore. And then the following week the contract was terminated.
Yeah, they completely. I
So
wouldn't
I
say they
mean,
shit the bed on that one, but they could have definitely handled that a lot better, considering Third Brigade just got reported for not picking up mail, and the installation commander just shoot out Third Brigade's commander.
they had remember they had two criminal investigations on the USPS on post when I was alone. It was just me for like 6 or 7 months, and there was two investigations on the whole post office. I was like, "What are y'all doing? Why is there so many investigations?" And they're like, "No one's receiving mail." And I was like, "Yeah, because Third Brigade doesn't even have a mail guy or anyone stationed in there." How do you know?
Yeah,
Because I get their mail.
and on top of that, uh, secretly, not secret anymore.
I like your shirt.
We got in, we got we got in trouble. We got caught stealing one of the Humvees to go get mail, and ironically, ironically, it was S1's broken Humvee.
Yes. Dude,
Then
the
I don't know if you remember the guy. I can't remember his name,
Fredo
but he was no
or
after
White
him.
Man. White Man.
No, the one from I think he was
Earth.
Red Devils.
Was it right?
No, no, he wasn't in our brigade. He was in the one if you leaving out of our SSC, the one on the right.
Okay. Irwin? Or did
Yes,
Irwin leave? I don't know.
it was
Er,
Irwin for a while. We stole one of the MRAPs.
nice. Oh yeah, that's right, because he's in second and they do have the MRAPs in the corner. Dude, you know what he's doing now?
He's at the Pentagon.
Yeah, but I meant well, not even no, he's in California now.
Oh
Um,
well, yeah. Last time me and him talked, he said he was going to the Pentagon.
I think he was, and then he got sent to California after like a shuffle. But I think it was just like
Oh,
the election shuffled up all the ranks, and then they
oh,
got shot out. But
that's shitty.
I know he's helping with deliverance ministries on the side, and so like I was following him on Facebook, and I was like, hey man, I'm seeing a lot of spiritual warfare on your Facebook. Like, are you okay? And he's like, nah, man, I'm doing deliverance. We're getting demons. I was like, what the?
Oh my god, he's not even the type of person to do something like that. So I know he hated his life.
Dude, he must have hit a
I mean,
bottom somewhere and
yeah,
found the Lord.
he's intelligent. I'll give him that.
Dude, like I've I've had multiple like in-depth conversations with him, and it's not like he has a broad knowledge. It's just the things he likes, he is all in on, and he knows
Yeah,
every inch of. And it's refreshing and scary at the same time.
yeah, because I don't know how to feel about it. Because some of the stuff I can't comprehend, I'm just like, okay, I'll take your word on that one.
Yeah, dude. It's like what else? I can't think of it's like listening to Protestant person for the first time and they're like singing in tongues and doing all
No,
that and
no,
you're like wow, we're out there.
yeah, no, I can't. I'm sorry, I just can't.
Dude, I think it's fun. I think I think it's a fun time. Like these people believe that they're experiencing it from their perception, this is what they're saying. And in their eyes, they're being delivered. And as long as it's a positive for them, I think it's beautiful.
I mean, if it's positive for them, wouldn't that technically make it psychosis?
Yes, technically, yes. But that I have strong feelings that a lot of the supposed possessions are actually just mental illness. And while the Lord works in mysterious ways, there can't be that many possessed people on the earth. If there is, then I apologize.
I mean, I agree to that to an extent. Like a holy war, religion, based off religion, their God spiritual abilities is beyond our comprehension.
No,
So I mean, what are the odds that they actually are possessed versus a mental illness?
not
Like
zero.
science can't prove it,
Mm-hmm.
but they have to give an answer.
Yup.
So they
No, I know.
immediately switch to mental illness.
I know. And that's why I say there can't be that many, because I do think that there is demon possessed people. I just don't think that there's an abundance, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
still to this day. I've seen. I don't. I wouldn't even know if I would count that as one because they said he was possessed. He believed he was possessed, and they couldn't get the demon out. So he ran down the road, stabbing himself till he died.
yeah,
An
I've
older guy at that.
I've heard some stories like that too. But then like I've also had conversations with yeah, I'll say it. I've had conversations for hours with Satanists, and they were actively trying to like recruit me. I know my place and I know where I have strength. And in that moment, I was not in my domain and I was not anointed to talk. So I listened.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, with them, that's all you can because they might sacrifice you.
Yeah.
Uh,
And that's why I
weird.
was being very attentive because they were talking about blood baptisms. Yes, there are people out there that actually do this.
That's
Like
how you get
it's
mono.
that well, yes, but there is a wasp on my table that I just killed. All right, scary. Anyways, at least I think it stung. Um, they I'll go into it because this is one of the ones that I think about. Um, I don't know what God they were praying to, but I know it wasn't Jesus. I know
Isn't it? I forgot the name of Balaam or something like that. Baal.
it would be either Baal, Moloch, or Ashtar, but I think Ashtar is like a sexual deviancy god. So either Baal or Moloch. Excuse me. I don't want to burp in the
The,
mic.
the weirdest conversation I've ever had. Like you had conversations with Satanists. Weirdest conversations I've ever had were with witches, like the Wiccans,
Yeah.
and like
Well, were
they.
these dudes were literally blood baptized as children, and then they were forced to do it every year. So,
Yes, I don't
like,
know who to blame for that. I mean, at a
well,
certain point, um,
they said later there was two of them, and I was on staff duty. That's why I wasn't. I was not about to do this. And
sacrificing stuff, dude.
yeah, dude, I was just sitting there. I was like, as long as you guys don't start looking at me funny, we're fine. But he was telling me about how his life was falling apart because he was trying to follow Jesus. And I was like, oh. Well, what happened? And he was telling me that like family was cutting him off, his finances were going in the trash, and like it was just obvious signs that he's trying to get your attention or he's trying to get you to do something.
Yeah.
And his answer, instead of diving into what is the root cause and diving into how do I get to the bottom of this and figuring it out with the Lord, his answer was to fall back into blood baptisms and reinitiating a contract with the demon or with the devil. To which they'll even say that, like, I believe that they said they either pricked their finger and wrote in blood or a drop of blood instead of a signature, but it involved their blood in the contract.
So it's like an actual paper, and they just,
Yeah, and well, that's where it
you
gets
know, when you
weird
said
because
blood
some people.
baptism,
Go ahead.
when you said blood baptism, I don't know why I envision a baby being held over a bowl and blood just being poured on their head.
I think that's I think that's been in one of the movies, like the one of the Exorcist movies, I think. And the or no, it was American Horror Story. They had a trailer where the baby was having blood poured over it. Um, I used to watch all those shows. I don't know why. Ever since I was little, I was like fascinated by horror stories. Um, but yeah, dude, that was that wasn't the first time that I've talked to somebody who's actively tried to get me in to the fold of Satanism because they start with the niceties and they'll be like, "Oh,
Hmm.
well, Satan doesn't want you to hurt people. He just wants you to be free." And I was like, no,
I mean, if I have to sign a blood contract, that doesn't sound like I'm free.
no. I don't even know how we ended up
Whereas
over here.
I don't either. But whereas with Christianity or any other religion, I'll say Islam's pretty strict. Certain ones, I think Shia. But anyway, it's free will. Like long as you confess your sins, you're essentially forgiven. Versus Satanism, I'm pretty sure if you break the blood contract, you broke your contract with the devil. Now you just gave up your whole life.
Yeah, I think it's like either slow death or just death in general. I'm not sure. I didn't ask that question, but hindsight's 2020. I wish I could.
You know me. I'm the type of person. So how do y'all die if y'all break that contract?
But that was my question to them too. I was like, what do you believe that you're going to go to if you think that hell isn't hell, but heaven? And he was like, well, we'll go there and it'll be what it is. Like, we'll not be burned by the flames. And I was like, this doesn't.
You know, that's like I think his name's Louis Farrakhan. He was a counterpart to Malcolm X, but he made his own form of Islam that other Muslims
Yes.
don't agree with.
Yeah.
Apparently, they don't believe in heaven or hell, so they don't believe in the afterlife, but they believe your heaven and hell is essentially here on earth, and your actions today determine where you're going to be tomorrow. So essentially, you make a bad choice today. You wake up in the morning. That's how I take it when they explain it to me.
And you're in
Essentially, you make
hell.
a bad choice today. Tomorrow might be a bad day, which would be considered your hell. And then if you decide to do something good during your bad day, the day after that would be your heaven. Like when they were explaining it to me, I'm like, y'all took me
The karmic
from,
cycle. Yeah.
yeah.
It's so weird. But I mean, there's also parallels between Christianity and like the pantheon. People try and draw conclusions of Jesus and Dionysus together because the
Hmm.
first miracle was changing water to wine. When in reality, if you think about the contextual time period, what would make people believe that you're a god doing a miracle of their god?
Yeah.
So I mean, it makes sense to me about why he did it then. Some people, I think they're just looking for an issue to pull, and that would be my assessment to it because it kind of doesn't make sense past that. Because then you're like, well, then why did he go and heal a leper? Why did he
I mean,
help a
yeah.
paralyzed man?
Once you get past that, you're left with more questions than you have answers, and you're just like, we're right back to square one.
We're right back to cherry picking, and we're going to draw these conclusions and stretch them out until they work.
Just like Judaism, like they believe in the afterlife, but they also believe in a middle ground, which would be purgatory.
Yeah, but they're also still waiting on their Messiah.
I guess we are too, apparently.
Whoa. In a way, yes. Their Messiah is our Antichrist. And that's the scary fuck part.
Wouldn't it just be that guy that has the mega church, not TD Jakes, the other guy that looks like a skinwalker?
Oh, Kenneth Copeland.
Him, yes. So many people believe he's the Antichrist.
Dude, I, I don't know. I think he's just emotionally captured by money. I think
Yeah, would
that's
technically make him the Antichrist, kind of.
no, because the Antichrist has to f fit into the description that has been written. So he would, all right, Kenneth Copeland, as much as I want to say that he is a bad person, he's not as prideful as they say in the Bible. He's not as peaceful as they say in the Bible. He
Yeah,
he's not actively trying to connect with the world leaders to dawn a peace treaty, and he's not actively trying to actually he is. I'm not going to say that one. Um but it has to fit in with what is written already. I know that
uh-huh.
sounds so like, well, what if they just follow it? They
Essentially a
can.
prophecy.
Yeah.
A
What if they
prophecy.
just, it is the prophecy. It's the prophecy of Ezekiel and the prophecy of Revelations. Because, I mean, shit, we are in prophetic times because the red heifer ceremony or the cleaning of the tools to build the third temple is upon us. They have already done the uh, the practice for it. They've already inspected the red heifers. They have to be without blemish, without they can never have worked on a field. They cannot have any hairs that are not red. So even one gray hair will disqualify it. No blemish, and it has to be completely red. And they believe that they found the three that they need to cleanse the tools to bring forth the foundation of the third temple. And from that third temple, once it is finished, the Antichrist will go into the temple and he will proclaim that he is God in front of the world, and he will call hellfire down from heaven. Now, if you want to
Then,
dissect it and be like, what if by hellfire it's just a hellfire missile and we kill him? Well, then to that I say that would fulfill the prophecy of him dying and then being resurrected.
hold him hostage. Hold him hostage. Tie him up and just beat him every other day.
Yeah, I mean, well, if it is to come to pass like that, then it is said that those who are alive in Christ or the church will be brought up into the clouds and we will be with our Lord. So essentially the rapture. Now, human, human, human interpretation of that is up to grabs because you'll
All
have
I'm
some.
saying is, during the rapture, I'm going to be the richest guy in the world for a day.
Oh, if it happens, I don't want to be here anymore. Because everything that follows is going to be terrible.
Yeah, but it's the end, so you don't have to worry much longer. I don't know. I don't know because what if all this happens, but absolutely nothing happens?
Hmm. There's that too. Because what if, and this is, I'll play. What if it is just like the other prophecies of every other religion that has said that the world is going to end before? And to that I say they were never proven historically accurate time and time again.
Yeah,
But
but
I,
at some point you're gonna get lucky.
at some point you'll get lucky. Let's pray that we're not the realm that experiences the judgment of the Lord. Yes.
I mean, scientifically, we got 4 billion years before the Earth ends in fire,
Yeah. Yeah. But
and I just hope I don't be resurrected at that time.
well, here's what I say to everyone after I tell them about the prophecy of Revelations. Um, there is good news. There is very good news. If you believe in the Lord, you will be saved and you will be brought into the millennial reign of Christ.
Mhm.
That being said, that does not guarantee you a life of no hardship because everyone does. But if it comes to pass that this too didn't happen, then we just continue on and have to figure out
Then we're
how
gonna
to.
make up something else, and we're gonna wait another couple hundred years, and we're gonna make up something else, and then here we are, a millennia later, and finally the sun explodes.
Dude, I don't know, man. I I tend to sit more in the camp that the Bible is historically accurate and man has destroyed the relics of the past than I
Oh
do
yeah,
that than I do that this stuff isn't real.
oh yeah, like the human aspect of, I'm gonna say Christianity again.
You're good.
The human aspect of Christianity, I would 100% agree that they destroyed what the Bible is trying to tell you. Because, for example, the book of Enoch,
Mm.
they deleted that out of the Bible because they didn't agree what it was saying.
And the book of
So
Jubilee.
how, yeah, so how are you going to pick and choose what you're going to believe based off of your image of what God is trying to teach you? So if God is giving you the book of Enoch, why are you trying to ignore it? Because it's completely opposite of what he said before.
Yep. Um, there was a council of Nicaea, and that is where they decided on the canonical versions of the Bible. I I read the Ethiopian Bible, which has all of the books, every
Yep.
single one of them. Um, I forget that people don't read the Ethiopian Bible.
For that very reason, the Ethiopian Bible goes against the teachings of essentially during that time, I would say about a couple thousand years, when the Roman Catholic Church
Mhm.
controlled the world. They completely overlooked what the Bible was saying just to maintain power.
Yep.
Like any, even kings and queens, excuse me, that spoke out against the Roman Catholic Church, even though it was in accordance with what the Bible said, they were executed.
Yep. And I like to refer to this as the biblical cycle. It's like in every instance of judgment, you can find the pattern of Adam in each empire that falls. So what I mean by that is like you can see where they were graced by God at first. You can
Mm-hmm.
see where they were given in abundance. And then you can see where they separate from God and think that they are um well, they slip into their sin and then they separate from God. And so that would be the fall of Adam and Eve. And then they spend the rest of the time trying to get it back.
So, with you saying that, what if Adam and Eve wasn't actual people, but they were
So
an idea of multiple places that came together but separate from God and essentially introduce evil into the world because they want to separate from God?
hold on, I need to chew on that for a second. I could see it because, yeah, from my perspective, there was three falls and not just one. Um, there was the fall of Lucifer by
Mm-hmm.
himself. There
Mm-hmm.
was the fall of the Watchers, or excuse me, a
Mm-hmm.
fall of the fallen angel, and then the fall of the Watchers,
Mm-hmm.
where they wanted to worship themselves in their regions more than they wanted to worship Yahweh. And yeah, that would be in the cycle. Yeah. Because, oh man.
That's kind of how I look at it. Like, I look at it based off of what the Bible says, like, okay, they were people.
Yeah.
But what if in reality, the Bible, so the Bible is known, God, Jesus is known to talk in parables. What if he wanted to instill the idea that Adam and Eve were people, but in reality, it was a parable where he was comparing two nations that went against him and God
Kind of
and
like the
introduced evil?
personification of Cain and Abel.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, it's flooding. Hold on. Because now I'm thinking of Lamech, Noah, Moses, and all of them fitting into these molds. And then the fall from grace, the star of Remphan. Like,
And, and
dude,
then another one, how I look at it. So Saint Michael, the strongest angel of heaven, the
mm,
leader of God's army, right? What if it wasn't him that they? What if it wasn't an actual person they were talking about, but a group of people, i.e., the first Christian crusade? They essentially controlled the world until they started worshiping themselves. They got greedy with money, and that's when they had their fall.
no, because Michael is a specific entity that's like too personal and too descriptive of him in and of itself. Like when he comes down and kills, was it 100,000 soldiers in one night? And then when he takes out or kicks the demon or geez, kicks the devil down to the earth and then fights over um Moses's body with the devil because if I, I have to say this because this is crazy since I heard it like a while back. The devil wanted to use Moses's body to trick the people into thinking that he was Moses so he could
Hmm.
lead them away from God and into him.
You just learned me something. I didn't know that.
Dude, that one messed me up for like 2 days because I was like, oh my, because my brain started going like, what would happen if he succeeded?
Yeah. What would the world be like if he succeeded?
Oh, I don't think we would be here.
I thought we would be here just not having this conversation.
For sure not having this conversation. We would both be slaves, like without a doubt. We would both,
No,
just for
four,
thinking that Christ is Lord, we would be slaves.
400 years would look like cake work.
Well, dude, we're still living in a time where in Sudan there's a genocide happening. In Ghana, they're being religiously persecuted. I mean, shit, it's way more broad than I'm gonna paint it, but in Central Africa, in the Horn of Africa, in the Middle East, in Asia, everywhere but the US, people are, well, I can't even say that because there was that guy that crucified some pastors. Um, you hear about that?
No,
Oh man. So, he was a Jewish extremist, and he had I don't know what he had on his neck. He had Hebrew writing on his neck. I'm forgetting what it was. Um, but he said he had a plan to kill 12 pastors and crucify them because they thought that Christ was king, and he believed that was untrue.
so wouldn't he technically go against his own religion?
Depends on what he believes. Um, if he believes in the Talmud, then it is not against his belief. You are allowed to go into a different city in which you do not live and send against the goyim, which is the um the non-Jew. It is a derogatory term for a non-Jew.
Huh. Well, he only got three, so
Well, I mean,
we're still in the game. We're still up one. We're still up one in the game.
the biggest the biggest trumpet for me that Christianity is the way is his example. Even though they were his enemy and they were nailing him, beating him, ripping his beard out of his face, they were being the worst. He still loved them with all his heart and body and did not blaspheme them once. Instead, he actively loved them as they hurt him. No one else teaches that. No one else walked that. No one else rose from that.
No one else would do that.
No one else would do that. my my favorite one is the comparison of Muhammad and Jesus. Because they're like Muhammad came with a sword and Jesus came with a towel. And it was like, that's right. Because a king who is a true leader serves his people.
Yeah,
That usually stops all thought because they're like, shit. You, how do
yeah,
you argue against that? Well, that's a weak leader. That is not a weak leader. That is a leader that wants his nation to prosper, his people to be empowered by his example, and they have hope in him because he's not afraid to get down in the trenches.
yeah.
It,
Unfortunately, I don't think I would be able to do that, which is probably why I'm not Jesus.
dude,
Mother, you dirty mother.
dude, we all fall short of his grace. Not a single person. But dude, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry I started preaching. I did not intend
Oh no, you're
to.
fine. You're fine. I learned quite a bit just now, actually.
Hey, you're good, man. Hey, all right, so let's change the dial a little bit so we
All right.
can get back on what we were talking about. All right, so your business, your window tinting business, and dude, for the longest time, I told you about this, right?
No, what happened?
I thought when you were telling me about tents, you were talking about like
Oh
actual
my
fucking.
God.
I was like,
Oh
I
my
have
God.
never heard of somebody giving tents to so many people.
Don't feel bad. You know how often at the time I encountered it. It was like, so do you sell like tents for parties? I'm like, huh? But I was like, do you sell tents? I'm like, no, I do window tents. But since we're on topic of my business, right? Backstory. So yes, while we were together, I owned four tent shops, window tent shops. I sold three because first sergeant won't let me manage the other three how I needed to.
I remember that.
Uh, and I kept one, which my business partner. You remember when I forgot where they went, but you remember when they blew out like right before I got out? I forgot where they went. I think the ADA deployed.
Yeah, it was I think it was the MPs. I think they were going to help the border.
So during that time when they had me doing the rotating shifts at night,
Hmm.
I'll go home and go to sleep, right?
Yeah.
I got when that ended, I went back to my shop, but it wasn't my shop anymore. My business partner stole it, changed the name, and kept the location. I tried to take him to court. The judge tells me your agreement was for your business, not your location. He took your location, not your business, so I can't prosecute anything. And to this day, he owes me over $180,000. So now I own a detail business. I detail cars, and it's actually performing a lot better than after I left. The window tint shop declined for him because I still get the sales reports.
Yeah.
But I do detailing, and what they make now in a month, I make that in about 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks. But I like it. The only part is detailing cars compared to window tint.
Hmm.
Window tint, you're not looking in the car. You're just
Yeah.
all right. I'm looking at the windows. Put this on. We're good. Detailing. Oh my god, I never knew people could get that disgusting.
Hmm. As someone who has three kids, yes. Yes.
Even I've cleaned cars with people with kids, but I'm talking like people they
Oh,
got a car, they go from point A to point B, they don't care as long as it runs, but one day they decide to get it clean. It was one car, I didn't even know what I was touching at one point. I'm just like, I don't know what to do. But as bad as it sounds, money makes the world go round. So I do what
hey,
I got to do.
I feel you. I feel you. That's why, hey, that's why I'm here. This is, I literally, I know I like to talk. I know I'm a social butterfly, so I just lean into it and I just let the conversation go. But
Yeah.
dude, what's funny is like the timing on your transfer into car detailing was perfect for how I saw the growth of car detailing. Because on my end, I was seeing more people doing like social media advertising for their mobile detailing.
Hmm.
And like they'd come out and meet you at the house and bring all their shit with them. Like those
Yep.
and then I started seeing more people on Facebook doing that, and then more people using networking like LinkedIn and stuff to promote their businesses. And I was like, dude, this is awesome. Look at all these like entrepreneurs coming up and going in and
Yeah.
trying their hand. I was like, this is phenomenal. Because, yeah, dude, I love seeing people take their hard work and creative ability and they just flip that bitch on his head and they decide to run their own. They're not going to
Yeah.
make money for other people. They want to just get in there.
So that's how I look at it. But I also look at it like, okay, so I own a detail shop. I can also get a job like with my how my schedule set up plus my detailing at I work at Home Depot.
Yeah.
Home Depot was the catalyst I needed
Yeah.
to skyrocket my business.
Really?
So I want to say last year, right when I got out, I was still dealing with like mental issues, depression, this, that, and the third.
Yeah, you don't have to talk about
Uh, and I decided, what am I good at that I don't have to put forth a lot of effort, but I can put forth enough effort to make people happy. And my stepdad loved getting his car washed, and I was like, you know what? I've been essentially detailing since I was 12. I was like, I'm gonna turn that into a business. But
There you go.
the thing about it, I can honestly say the military put me in the right mindset of owning a business. Like before the military, I probably wouldn't have had a successful business because I just like going out, buying nice things, even though I couldn't afford it. But being in the military, they taught me that discipline, that perseverance, where when nothing goes your way, you just
Show up.
find another way.
Mm-hmm.
Show up, show out, and find another way.
There you go.
And being at Home Depot, it you meet literally everybody. At some point, everybody's gonna come in here,
Oh yeah.
and I can also say I can thank my coworkers because when I was going through that tough time, I actually stopped doing detailing last year. And it was one day me and my coworker was having a conversation, and she was like, I need my car cleaned bad. I was like, I'll do it for you. And she thought I was playing, but she was like, will you do it for real? I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And from that day, which was about 3 months ago, I've been detailing nonstop. Like I rebranded and everything. So it went from TNT detail to
Mm-hmm.
Dirt X. I based the name off of, you heard of Rain X.
Yeah.
I did Dirt X.
Hey, that's smart.
So I rebranded everything. And then on top of that, my tent shop name was TNT Tent. So to alleviate me letting go of the past, I was like, I got to let this name go. Even though it's a good name, I got to let it go.
Yeah.
And when I did that, I actually made more in the past 3 months than my old name did in 6 months last year. Like,
Dude.
but the catch is, I try to get the VA to help me.
Mhm.
They're useless. They're
Why?
useless.
What do they do?
So they have a stipulation. They will fund you to have your own business. They'll pay for you to have your own business, but
Uh-huh.
they're very strict. You
Hey,
can't
can
be
you walk through it? Because I have no knowledge on any of the VA businesses.
so. When I first got out, I was like, I want to start another business. So I contacted the VA. I found out the VA will pay for it. So I
Yeah.
went through the whole walkthrough, counseling, everything about business. So I started my own business. They have a path where you can go self employment route,
Mm-hmm.
but the catch is you can you can only take advantage of that program if you're deemed completely unqualified to work with the general public. So if you have to have a disability that completely hinders you from working a job. That's the only way they'll pay for it. They'll pay for you to have your own business.
Wonder if I followed that. I doubt it, but
Like,
dude, I don't know, because I feel they're so freaking weird on their stipulations. For instance, their stipulations on work criteria is severely loosened, but from your saying, they're talking about not being able to work, and that has the most extreme stipulations, and that's the only one where you're allowed into the entrepreneurship route.
yeah, that her exact
Okay,
words was,
so it's pay to win.
yeah, her exact words were, we'll fund you to start your own business, but you have to have a disability that completely hinders you from working in either the private sector or the federal government or a government job in general. So I was like, so essentially, since I can get a job, y'all won't pay for it. She was like, no. I was like, so what's the point of this program? You know how many people, how little people get out of the
Thousands.
military, yeah, versus hundreds of thousands or however many, quadruple that number that gets out and can work.
Yeah.
So essentially, y'all are gatekeeping people from starting their own brand.
100%.
But coming from nothing as a child, I can say one, my tent shops. I started those with $1,000, and within 3 months, they started making averaging like 150. Detailing, I started that with $576. I got water tank generator, pressure. Well, my stepdad already had a pressure washer, so I got that for free. Uh, and they already had a truck for me.
Damn.
So yeah, they had a pickup truck that they used to haul trash and stuff. But I was like, I can make money with this truck. And off of $576 in 3 months, I've made close to 75 grand.
I feel like I need to explain myself now.
But I can say detailing, it wasn't my first option, obviously.
Yeah.
But being in Fayetteville,
Hmm.
in every corner you turn, there's a person detailing. I'm like, apparently they're making good money if it's that many here. So
Soldiers.
yeah, I tried to do it on the beard, but first I want to let that ride. It wouldn't
Yeah.
give me time. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
stickler. Even though, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. It's
and then
hard to
seeing how
forget
much I make.
someone.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, no, you're fine. Seeing that how much I can make detailing,
Hmm.
I was like, I mean, I still got spare time. I hate sitting around. That's when I started working at Home Depot,
Yeah.
and now I get paid from Home Depot, my business, and the VA.
Dude, that's fantastic. That is
Cut,
fan.
cut that part out.
Oh, dude,
Cut that part out.
I'll cut out the
Cause,
specifics of like what you got
cause
and that
did
stuff.
you, cause did you hear what's going on right now with
Oh
veterans?
yeah, yeah. That's why I said I'm gonna cut out the specifics. I'll
I've,
bleep them out and then blur your mouth so they can't try and figure it out. But I know I severely disagree with the audacity that they have, thinking that they're gonna touch the money that people risk their fucking lives for on a lie, and you're gonna
yeah,
try and take that away. That's the fall of Rome.
yeah. So my mom works for the VA, right? And so she big on what goes on with like veterans that pay government. And apparently they're trying to pass a law where if you can work, your disability should be taxed.
Oh, oh, who's doing it? Who's doing it?
And
I will lobby
the,
them. Who is it?
the crazy part is, a lady she works with, her son was in the military, got paid. He was 100%. They found out he owned a business. I don't know what his disability was, so I
I
don't really
guarantee you
know.
it involved being
Yeah.
physical though.
So he owned a business. It was in his name, and they reevaluated. Well, they found out he had a business. They reevaluated his disability, and he went from 100 to 30.
And that's why she wants to fuck everyone else.
I was like, that's insane.
I'll probably uh no. Um I want that person to be on blast. I'll find out who it is and I'll start emailing representatives because oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. There's ugh, there are things in this world that you just don't mess with. And
Yeah.
one
And
of
then
those things
I
is
told my,
veterans. Leave them alone.
so I told my mom when she was telling me the story about what the government's trying to do with veterans and stuff. I was like, so you realize the situation that's playing out right now, right? She's like, what do you mean? I was like, he's putting Vietnam vets, Desert Storm vets, Gulf War vets up against newer veterans that they're still dreaming to see combat. So who you really think is going to win that fight if something was to pop off?
Uh, Depends on who's better organized.
I mean, yes, but seeing the caliber of
I
newer
think it'll
soldiers
be
that were coming in,
the vets. It will be the vets because not only do we have home field advantage, they've been waiting for it
yeah.
and they're pissed. They're tired of being lied to. They're tired of being lied to and then aimed at civilians. That's why we're losing so many people because people are waking the fuck up to what really happened.
And when it happens, I'll say that's gonna be all she wrote.
Oh, I'm
Because
not
I don't know
saying
how you're gonna.
I'm
I
not
don't
saying
know
that.
how you're going to appease. Well, not to a devastating extent, but I don't know how you're going to appease people that's been pissed off all their life.
Well, they have a hit list. They have a hit list. It's everyone who's in fault. Pelosi, Clinton, W, H, uh, s- uh, goodness, what's his name? I can't think of it. It's a bunch of neocons.
Yeah, but
Um,
if they succeeded that hit list, who's to say they're going to stop there?
well, it would create a power vacuum. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, and this is just me, I think what needs to happen is all of this shit needs to get aired out. All of this shit needs to be brought to the table. And if you are at fault for the crimes held against you, you need to be held to the standard as everyone else under the Constitution. Or, and this isn't me, this is what the world is showing right now. God will step in and he will rectify it. That's been shown over and over and over again. Sodom and Gomorrah, they didn't want to change in a night.
Yeah.
Pillars of Salt, Babylon, all of
Jerusalem.
them. Which time? Which time?
I was going to say Egypt, but
Now that one was good too. That had the four plagues completely. Dude, that would be terrifying. If I saw a wall of locusts coming to me, I would just be like,
oh,
"Yep, all right, I'm praying."
I'm just going to stay in the house because,
They're eating the house. They're
oh,
eating
God.
everything. Dude, it's like an insatiable hunger. They just eat until they die.
Uh,
That's why they're terrifying. Because in the scriptures it's written that the locusts are given the power of the scorpion and they tear through with unsatiable hunger.
well, yeah, there's the problem here because I'm scared of scorpions too.
Dude, rightfully so. They're saying, oh, what other animal has a spear? None.
Oh,
Actually, that's not true. There's like the spearfish, the swordfish.
yeah,
You know what I'm The narwhal,
uh,
those ones kill each other every time they have intimacy.
praying mantis. They,
Dude, those are so cool though.
I got chased by one around my house. It's not cool. I'm sorry.
Let me ask you one question. Here, hold on. Let me. What I was saying is that once I figured it out, like once I was allowed to understand what was going on, oh
Am I sideways?
yeah, you are
Ah,
savage.
give me a
There we
second.
go.
Gotta figure this out. I'm just gonna hold it here.
Okay.
Technical
Uh,
difficulties.
dude, I spent like 15 minutes trying to figure out what the hell was wrong with my camera. And every time, I don't know what it is now. Every time I plug it in, it doesn't want to work the first time. So I have to sit here and figure out which cable is going to magically work this time.
Um,
So stupid.
you,
And they're all brand new cables. That's why it's so confusing. Um, but when I figured out what was going on, I was like, I was confused at first. I was very confused as to how I was very confused as to how indiscriminately people could be killed like that. And then uh once I started adding in context to the situations, it became more clear that there was a hidden agenda and that there was nefarious actors. And I'm not saying that like all of that was for nothing. No, it was for something. I just too specifically what, I have no clue. And I think that it's designed that way. Um, but it definitely seems from all the things that I've concluded is it is a cycle of not only money and weapons, but it is a cycle of which nation is going to be attacked. And then
yeah,
depending on the outcome of that nation's, the lateral transfer of money and weapons happens to black projects through the auctions of after the loss. Does that make
I
sense?
think, yeah, I think the G2 summit, all the world leaders just meet up and like, hey, put a dart on the wall. Let's see, which country gets attacked this time.
That dude, I don't think you're off kilt. I think you're close. 'Cause it definitely is a it perceives or gives the perception that they are agreeing on who will be at war and that they are agreeing who will be attacked. It's just they don't tell us because we're not in the club.
Yeah, I mean, war makes money.
Yeah, because here's here's where it gets freaking weird. The whole world has treaties for scientists and researchers and other various technologies to include space to work together.
Hmm.
There's a handful of places where there is peace treaties entirely. Like there is never any war allowed here ever. One of those places is Antarctica,
Hmm.
and the surrounding islands are owned by the families of the supposed bloodlines, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like all of the surrounding islands are named after them. It's super weird.
That I didn't know.
Oh,
Another place where I would say, I mean, it would be physically impossible. Well, it wouldn't be physically impossible, but theoretically impossible. The ISS. I mean, every country with space abilities agreed to work together on the International Space Station.
mhm.
But the catch is a lot of astronauts are saying that they actually hate working with Russians on the International Space Station because they take their political views from Earth to the ISS and create hiccups in what they're supposed to be doing there.
Same with the Chinese. That's why they have their own station now. Ooh, another thing that we have to be cognizant of. Like, there's nothing we can do about it. We just have to be aware of it. China's digging on the dark side of the moon for helium-3. That is a uh, that is the only thing that is cost effective to cooling down the data centers for the AI. And they've been mining it for months.
Well, did you hear what the United States is trying to do?
Put them in the water.
No, so NASA they're working on a program where they're trying to be the first. They're trying to make the U.S. the first country with nuclear capabilities on the moon.
I did hear this, but I
Like,
thought that we already had the rods of God, which are the tungsten rods that float in our orbit and can
well,
be shot within a kilometer of the target.
well, they're trying to put nuclear power on the physical surface of the moon.
Oh, you're talking about yes, 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 yes. I have heard this. And I remember it because somebody asked specifically why nuclear and not solar, and they were like because it has 28 days of night on the dark side.
Yeah, and but what could we possibly do with nuclear power on the moon?
Well, that's where we get into the realm of technology that is so advanced that it perceives us as magic.
Sounds a little psychotic to me. We're a waste of
Well,
resources, really.
here and out. And software development has nothing to do with it. I don't even know why I brought that up. Um, in the 60s and 70s, um, we managed to reverse engineer some technology from retrieved crafts to include fiber optic cables and the circuitry on motherboards. From there, we then built advanced replication vehicles or alien replication vehicles of the Roswell crash. Um, the synthetic skin aircraft that we were working on, that was from that.
Mhm.
That is like around the third or fourth generation. Um, they are going to come out with either one of two options. They're going to have to either give us 0 point energy, which is and it is taking the electrons from the atmosphere and bringing it in through a quantum vacuum and storing that for use. So essentially, 0 point energy, quantum vacuum did the same thing. And so that is one option. That is the most unlikely because in order to have a quantum vacuum, you need four directed energy weapons to control the mechanism. But the other one is miniature nuclear reactor cores, which is way more likely because it doesn't need to be enriched past 3%, which makes it significantly less dangerous than gasoline. The only problem is the public perception of nuclear is so bad because of Hiroshima,
Mhm.
Nagasaki, Chernobyl, blah, 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 blah. And so that's why they're coming up with these ideas because one, nuclear is way better for everything except waste management. They're going to say that they figured out how to do this and that, but in reality, what they did was they genetically engineered plants and other life on Earth that is biological and um, plant. to then eat the decomposing uranium and nuclear materials. Um, I believe Sean Ryan just had the guy on who actually was the head of that company. And so we will either get 0 point energy and plasma technology. So I know this gets crazy. So
Yeah.
there's nuclear thermodynamic fusion and nuclear thermodynamic fission, right?
Mm-hmm. Just what you
Okay.
spit out.
All right, well,
Yeah.
we'll get away from that one then. We'll stick with the plasma. All right, plasma is a different form on the elemental table. Okay, so like liquid, solid, gas, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Okay. Fifth one, plasma. Plasma is naturally occurring in our atmosphere. So you'll have plasma balls and plasma lightning. Um, I'm not an expert on this. I every single plasma expert that I've tried to reach out to won't even talk to me. They won't give me the time of day. And I really do think that is because they are top secret um research and development because there are sciences that are still hidden from us. Eric Weinstein has brought that forward that there is physics and calculus that are being hidden from him. And he literally is just going across the world saying, I want to know, let me know. I know it's there because these math equations and the Einstein's theory of relativity do not match up with the universe that we live in.
So speaking of that, uh, me not understanding physics or any of that, I ran across a guy in Home Depot who believes he figured out an equation that proves all math equations are incorrect. And he's in the process of writing a book because, and the book is based on how all math equations are incorrect because it doesn't differentiate between reality and a fantasy. And he was trying to explain it. I'm like, essentially, he broke it down in levels. Where level one, you're like me and you, what we see isn't real. It's perceived because we're taught to believe it's there. Then he goes to level three, level two, three, and four, where level four are psychologically unstable people, and he believes they're seeing the world for what it really is. But because we're taught different, we think they're crazy. When in reality, they see the world for what it really is. And I was like, I see where you're going, but you're also tiptoeing a fine line between your reality and a fantasy you made up.
Yeah, and that's dipping into like perception. That's dipping into not only like the theory of the observer and perceived reality, but then you get into different dimensions, and then it's all theoretical because aside from the double slit experiment, what else can we use to observe something, right? So the double slit experiment is when they shoot electrons through a slit to
Mm-hmm.
see how it reacts. And then they do it with two slits, and then they add an observer, and then they turn off the observer and turn it on when it goes through the slit. And it's got two different positions. Some when it's turned off, it's perceived as a wave, and when it's turned on, it's perceived as going through the hole. Really weird, which feeds into the simulation theory and that we're in a rendering simulation that only renders what we can see or perceive,
Hmm.
and everything else is not real. Which
So that's kind of like I forgot his name, but he's a quantum physics expert.
Michio Kaku.
Black older guy, gray hair. He gets extremely
Oh,
excited when he
oh,
talks about space.
oh, goodness. Hold on. Are you either talking about Neil deGrasse Tyson
Yeah,
or
there we go, Neil
there
deGrasse
you go.
Tyson.
Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty funny to listen to.
So he was talking about black holes. Like I can see where the guy that I talked to, where his idea that all math equations are incorrect based off of what Neil deGrasse Tyson says when it comes to black holes. Like we know the black hole's there, but we don't know why they occur or what goes on inside because they completely prove math is incapable of calculating its existence.
Oh, and I, I think that they just had a sent a probe into a black hole or something, and we're waiting on like the results of it. But yeah, dude, once we start
And
diving into stuff like black holes and such, you enter into theoretical, and then you can start playing with like philo philosophical and theology. Geez, philosophy and theology. Like, I give this example. A black hole is a vast array of nothingness, and you can't even have sound in it, right?
yeah.
That sounds like hell to me. So-
Well, similar to black holes, like with his argument, wormholes, like how they say you can travel between time and space.
Kind of like a bridge between
They,
galaxies.
yeah, like they believe, like experts believe that they exist, but they can't prove they exist because there's no evidence to prove their existence.
Because they absorb
So,
everything around them and within them.
yeah,
Oh my
so
God.
it's like they could be there, but we don't know where to look. And because we don't have evidence that they exist, we naturally got to agree that they don't.
Well, in that case, then why can't everyone agree on Jesus?
That's the thing. Different teachers, like each every group of people have their own teaching of the universe.
Yeah.
But religions, that where the separation between church and state comes into play.
Yeah.
We can agree, we can make up stuff for religion and prove that it happened, even though it never happened. Like
Yeah.
falsifying documents. But when it comes to actual science, where they have stuff that can prove that something exists, they have to naturally agree that because we can't make something up, that it exists, we have to agree that it doesn't until we prove otherwise.
Yep. Yep. Because that I was talking about this in one of the episode. I don't think it was an episode. I think I was just talking offline. I was talking to them. I was like, "No, you're not understanding me. History is literally just an agreed upon lie by the victors."
Yeah,
And and I was like breaking the reality of somebody else because I was like, yeah, you don't think it's weird how all the good guys are the victors in history? Like that never crossed your mind? You never wondered what happened to the losers or what was going on beforehand?
yeah. Like when the first crusades got executed, you don't think about their execution
Mm,
or what happened after. So
or even what happened
essentially,
before.
yeah. So essentially, like I believe in the Demolay curse. where when they set him on fire, he cursed. I forgot the name. He cursed everybody that agreed to his execution, and literally
Mm-hmm.
within 1 year and 1 day, which is when he said they would die, they all died, and
Yep.
their bloodline essentially got wiped out with it.
Yep. Yep. Because when you walk with the Lord,
But
he
nobody,
listens.
but nobody thinks about the aftermath of him being executed. They just say, okay, well, they won all these wars and he was killed. And that's where the story stops.
Mm-hmm. Because that would, if they added that in, then that would be admittance of wrongdoing.
Yeah.
It's
And
so weird.
nobody wants to be wrong in history, even though a lot of people were proven wrong in history, but they try to suppress it to a point where you don't think about it.
They do. Well, here, brother, man, let's do some promotion for your business because we'll stop it here so I can use the bathroom and make sure the kids are all right. Or we can just
Okay.
end it if you want to.
Now I can do a quick ass.
All right, go ahead. Let them know where to find you, where to look for you, where to hire you, where to see everything that you got. I'll link it
All right,
in below.
y'all. Okay. All right, y'all. If y'all want your car looking brand new, y'all want refurbished interior, exterior, you want to look in showroom ready, contact Dirt X Detail. Our Facebook is Dirt X Detail. Phone number 843-307-4471. We're a business where clean meets supreme.
That's a catchy title. I like that. Dude, thank you so much for doing this. I love talking to you, dude. It's
Hey,
always
thank you for
fun.
having me. Thank you
Oh,
for having me.
it's nothing, big dog. I hope you actually get some
I'm,
business from this. Maybe we can make something work for you.
oh
Dude,
yeah, oh yeah.
again, dude,
I
I
miss
can't.
I miss your crazy stories.
Dude, I don't try and find craziness. It just finds me.
I be sitting here like, oh my God, like civilian stupid is completely different from military stupid. Military stupid, it was actually hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Like you can hear the crazy stories and you're just like, okay,
And then you
I
got
like
me
this guy
coming
beside me.
in. You got me coming in, and I'm like, bro, you ain't gonna believe this. All right, brother. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you again.
Yep, no
Have a good
problem.
one,
Thank
buddy.
you. Hey,
All
you
right.
too.
Bye.